my hearing aids.
You're on, Miles. Go ahead. Whenever you're ready.
Today I was asked to talk about my relationship with my Aunt Pauline and how she changed my life. So I'll tell that story. I had two aunts, my Aunt Sylvia and Aunt Pauline, and both of them lived about a block away in different directions. Aunt Sylvia was a wonderful, lovely lady, and I got along with her beautifully. Aunt Pauline was a shrew in my mind, and we never got along very well. She never had anything to do with me, I had nothing to do with her, but my Uncle Willie, her husband, was a real doll. And one day, my grandmother, I was, 14 years old. I had finished my first year of high school, and this was the summer, the beginning of the summer, after my freshman year of high school. And my grandmother asked me to deliver a package to my Aunt Pauline's house, who lived about a block and a half away. And I refused to do it because I didn't like my Aunt Pauline, and my grandmother prevailed upon me to go. So reluctantly, I delivered a package to my Aunt Pauline. And unbeknownst to me, that delivery changed my life. I really think it did. I came up to her apartment. She opens the door and she says, "Hello, bum, come in." You have to understand, at that time I had just finished my first year of high school, and my highest grade in first year of high school was D. And how they let me get into the second year, I really don't know, because I never had anything to, and it had nothing to do with school. I didn't want to work, I didn't want to have anything to do with it. So she called me a bum because of my grades and the fact that I didn't give a shit about anything really. Well, anyway, she invited me in and made me sit down at her kitchen table, and she said to me, "What are you going to do with your life, bum?" And I said, "None of your business," and we got into a real hassle. I didn't like her, she didn't like me.
So you had just finished, you were in 9th grade or 10th grade?
I finished the first year of high school.
So, okay. Probably 10th grade, okay.
My
You had 2 more years to go,
No,
right?
three more
Oh,
years.
yeah, 3.
Three.
Oh, so you finished 9th grade, okay. Okay, got it.
And my highest grade was D, so I really didn't care about school, or had nothing to do with it really. Why they let me go into the next grade, I don't know, but they did. Well, anyway, she called me a bum, and she started asking me what I'm going to do with my life. And at first I said, it's none of her business. I'll do fine. She says, what kind of job can you get? I said, I can do anything. I could become a plumber, I can work for the post office, there are millions of jobs in this world. I'm physically okay, I can do whatever I want. And she said, okay, bum, I just wanted to see what you're going to do with your life. And we argued, and we left under bad terms. But when I got home, it sort of bothered me that we had this conversation and she was interested in what I'm going to do with my life. And I really never really thought about what kind of job I'm going to do, or what I would like to do. I knew I liked to carve model airplanes, which I did. Instead of doing work in junior high school, I carved model airplanes for the United States Army Air Force. But that was, instead of going to class, that was fun.
When you say for the Army Air Force, you mean just you carved replicas of their airplanes?
American planes, German planes, Japanese planes. They provided plans where you can make wooden model airplanes out of crates of orange juice crates. They had these flat boards, and they had the ends which thicker pieces which you could use for the body. And I used to get orange crates, and I'd sit, instead of going to class, I'd sit and I'd carve model airplanes. I was good at that.
What happened to, did you sell them?
No, we donated them to the United States Army Air Force. They used to teach spotting of planes by using these models. They would teach people
How to identify
had
them.
identified different planes. And it was a nice thing to do. Nobody bothered you. You were carving, you were making something. You paint them, you Japanese, German, even American.
A solitary activity.
Yeah, but it was fun. I enjoyed doing that. Well, anyway, I think I wasn't going to make a living at that, I didn't think. But when she booked me about what am I going to do for a living, and so I thought about working for the post office or working for, let's say, becoming a plumber or an electrician or something, I had to make a decision. What am I going to do? Where am I going to make money in life? And she was the first one that ever broached that subject to me. So when I went home, after a day or two, and it was bothering me, I got out a big yellow pad, manila pad, which is like, maybe 1.5 feet long and a page wide. I took a pencil and I drew a line right down the middle of the pad. And on one side I wrote on the top column, go to things you can do to go to college, things you can do if you don't go to college. And I spent about a month with that piece of paper just adding things that you could possibly do, electrical engineer, or go to becoming a post office worker, or just any job.
Right.
Working in a food store, made all kinds of columns. And then I did the other side was the things you do if you go to college and you become an engineer, an ophthalmologist, a dentist, a doctor, a physician, you name it, I had it in the architect, you name it, I had it in there. I spent about a month making the list. And then I would look at that yellow pad every single day for the summer. And then one day I got real mad at it, and I crossed off the whole column, don't go to college. Just one swipe, I'm going to college. Then what do I do to go to college? Then I started looking at the pages, and day I crossed things off for one reason or another, things I thought I didn't like or I wouldn't like as much. And after about another 3 weeks of that, I came down to 2 items. Either I become a physician or I become a dentist. And I knew I was good with my hands. And at that point in my life, the reason I didn't choose physician was because I didn't want to be responsible for people's lives. It just felt like at this age, I just couldn't think of that. So I chose dentistry. And it never changed. And I had a goal. And the following year, I got all A's in high school. And my Aunt Pauline changed my life. And I have that to thank her for.
Cool story.